Okay, welcome. We are live. Welcome back to our daily live feed. As always, you guys are logging on. If you'd like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. I have been back to back all day, so I barely even got on here in time, but we made it. Welcome, you guys. As you guys are logging on, if you haven't heard already, early access to registration for Cuties Conquering the Stage. Yes, we made it. Is open. I'm looking forward to this. Yay, BSPN nights. Yes. Another BSPN, a second one this week. I know, we made it twice. I'll have another live feed tomorrow too. What's up, Raven? For those of you logging on Instagram, we will be doing screen sharing over on YouTube. So feel free to go over to YouTube to watch a screen share. But yes, our registration for Cuties Conquer the Stage early bird registration is open. Registration itself is free. So you just have to put your name and email address in there, and that gets you access to all of the exclusive content leading into the actual weekend release of ticket sales. But you have to be on the list in order to have all that stuff. So you got to go in and do that. The link is in my bio on Instagram, and it is also on the description for our YouTube as well, in the actual description bar here on our video. So if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. You need to do that. Subscribe right now. Click the notification bell. Go ahead and do that. And so that way you'll be notified whenever we go live. And I do schedule these, so you get a notification. If you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you get a notification a half an hour before we go live. So you have to turn on notifications, obviously. And that'll get you in the know so you don't miss us when we actually go live. And when you are over on YouTube, your comments come up live on screen. So when you go to watch it back, you get to see that you are a part of the show. How cool is that, right? All right. I hope everybody's had a great week so far. It has been hard to get back into the swing of things after being gone all weekend. It always is. It feels like I get home, it's like 1,000 things to do to get caught up. But we're rolling right along. This is our busiest time of the year right now through till October, usually. And then we'll see, because we've still got shows up until December this year, with the Olympia being in December. So a little different this year. Typically things slow down around September. No, we get no break. We get no break this year. So there's a couple of pro shows going on this weekend. And I did see the pro list pop up for the Japan Pro, but I don't see it on ifbbpro.com. I'm not sure why. If somebody can show me if I'm just missing it, maybe I'm just missing it. With that said, I don't really know a lot of the competitors in that show except for Eureka. Eureka is competing in that show, and obviously she just took 4th at Nashville Fit Show. She took 3rd at Pacific USA. So I would say she's probably a front runner for that particular show. But again, I don't know many of the other girls in that show. There's a couple Australian girls in there. There's some a lot of Japanese girls in there. So, or Japan natives there. The big one this weekend is the Excalibur Show this weekend. So that's the one we're going to talk about. And we've got a few interesting things to talk about at this particular show. Most of the girls in it are ones we've been talking about most of the year already. But let me pull up the pro list so you guys can see it. I think that's it. Yeah. There we go. Okay, here's our pro list. So most of these girls that we see on this list, after coming off of a show where you've got 35, 40 pros in it, this seems small, right? This is a normal size right here, though. This is a pretty normal size of a show on typical weeks. So it seems quite small after coming off of a show where we had so many girls in it, but this is about normal. And what I do see here, though, is that there's only 2 girls that are actually signed up for bikini, which is interesting. And I think the reason why is because it's bikini over 35. I've mentioned this before. I don't think that masters should actually start until you're in your 40s. It is a good list. It is a good list. So I don't think masters should actually start until you're in your 40s. Most girls that are from the age of 35 to 40 are still trying to make it in open, and they still do. I believe Angelica was 36 when she won one of her Olympia titles. So it's still very doable to make it to the Olympia when you're in your 30s and late 30s, even early 40s. We've had some people in the top 10, like Camille Perriot was 42, I believe, and she was top 10 at the Olympia. So I think that's probably why we're not seeing anybody on this list, because the older ladies are in their 40s and 50s are like, well, I'm not going to go up against 35-year-olds, you know? And then the 35-year-olds are like, well, I'm just going to go into open, right? So it's an interesting thing here. I think that the sweet spot for masters to start, to be perfectly honest with you, is 45. I think that's the sweet spot. I still think that when you're in your 40s, you can still be competitive in the open. And then, you know, once you get up into the 45 and once you go up and over 45, that's when we start seeing girls be more competitive in masters. I believe Jessica Wilson is in her 40s. She is. Jessica Wilson turned 40 after right before the Olympia this past year. So she is 40. I am actually 10 days older than her. That's why I know. So she turned 40 after her first pro win, but before the Olympia this past year. So yes, it is very doable to be competitive in your 40s. And again, I think she was 11th or 12th or something like that. She was around there. So was Aaron Stern. They were in the upper tier of the Olympia. Aaron Stern is 42, not 42, but 42. She's 4'2". So yeah, you're still capable of being competitive, very competitive in the open in your 40s. So again, I think that's the reason why we're seeing this in the bikini over 35. I mean, I don't blame anybody that's 35 to 40 years old. I'm 40. I'm not going into masters until I feel like I have to, you know what I mean? So I get it. So with that, the list that we have here, again, though it's smaller than Nashville, it is very competitive. A lot of these girls have been in top callouts recently or top callouts in the past. They have won shows. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So I pulled up a bunch of names. The first one that I pulled up was at the very top, Maria. The reason why I mentioned Maria is because she did make first call out at Nashville. So this is Maria right here. We didn't talk about her yesterday because I believe she was 7th. I think she took 7th, if I'm not mistaken. I think her placement was 7th. Yes, she was 7th. So she was just outside that top 5 here. But really, really great frame. I actually noticed her as soon as she went on stage. Let me see if I can. I don't know how long she's been competing for, but I did notice her as soon as she walked on stage, and I did actually take a little bit of video of her because of that. So I think she could be very competitive. She could be one of those competitors in this show that you're not looking for that just happens to do very well. She's tiny as far as short is concerned, so I could see her being competitive next to Ivana, who is also in this show. So we'll see how this plays out for her, but I could see her as almost like a dark horse, one of these ones that people don't expect to do a whole lot, but I could see her potentially being a big threat. Really good shape, really good frame, really good look overall. Let's see if we can pull up a back shot of her while we're here. And again, I mean, first call out at Nashville Fit Show is a big deal. That was a lot of girls. So here's a good back shot for her. So you can see she's really well proportioned. I mean, she's tiny, she's short, but that, so is Ivana, and Ivana's in this show. So that could play well for her, being compared to Ivana, knowing that Ivana has won 5 pro shows. You know what I mean? Oh, and I wanted to mention something about that too when I get to Ivana. So remind me if I forget about her winning her pro shows. So remind me. So yeah, she's one of them that I think could be a potential threat here. And we've got Yulia. I love how they pronounce your name wrong every time, Yulia. Yulia. Let me pop her in real quick and pull her up because she just competed this past weekend too. Well, where's the little screen thingy that I need? There it is. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, or not. Maybe they spelled your name wrong. See if you come up under that. Ah, there we go. Yep, they did. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's an old version of Yulia right here. 2019. Look at that. I didn't even plan on that, but that's cute. We just saw her on here. Oh, we talked about her yesterday. So it's kind of cute to see her up here in her NPC glory right there. So, she's another one that could potentially come out. Hopefully they'll not forget about, hopefully they won't forget about you this time. I don't think you'll get lost in a sea of 17 people. So, well, this is cute. Your little first year competing here. Like that's funny because they spelled your name wrong. That's why. So trust me, I understand how that goes. I get my name spelled wrong all the time. They call me Shauna. I'm like, no, it's just Sean. I swear. I promise it's just Sean. Just Sean. That's it. That's me. So look out for Yulia. Next up, we have Jordan. Now, again, Jordan just competed in Nashville Fit Show, and she's one that's been knocking on the door as well, getting those first call outs every time. So I do expect to see her in the first call out again here. And it's just going to be a matter of whose day it is that day, She could very well be in the top spot here. I think she's still going to be in the top call out, probably in the top 5 somewhere. Just going to be a matter of how it shakes out. Probably around 4 or 5 like she normally is. That's what I'm guessing. Unless she comes in and brings a really stellar package that beats everybody out, which is definitely possible. So she's another one that we just talked about yesterday. And this will be show number 4 in 2 weeks. You guys are machines, man. Some of y'all, I don't know how you do it. I really don't know how you do it. No way. No way could I do 4 shows in 2 weeks. Holy cow. I would be tired. I'd be very tired. Then I brought up Hope as well. Hope is another one that's been doing first to second call outs, which has been pretty consistent. If she hits a good look, she could very easily be up in the top 5 here. She was second call out at Nashville Fit Show, but the weekend before she was a first call out. One thing I will say about her is that her tan just tends to be a little bit muddy. You can even see in the photos, she's a little bit muddy in her tan. Tan gets dark, but I'm not sure why it's so splotchy, and it's not terrible in the photo, but you could tell in person that it was splotchy. So I don't know if it just doesn't absorb into her skin, or if she just needs a different skin prep or something. I'm not sure, but I've got to fix that tanning issue because that'll definitely hurt you when you're competing against these top girls. And then I'd like to see, I think, a brighter suit color on her. This is a pretty suit color. I like it, but I'd like to see something a little bit brighter, especially because she does go so dark with the tan. I'd like to see something that pops off her skin tone a little bit better. I think it would be helpful. But overall, I really liked her hair and makeup look. I think the glam look is really good. I think her posing is really good. There's just little details like the tanning. And I think she just needs a little bit more glute too. We pull up her back pose. Let me get a back pose here. There we go. Yeah, this is one of those shots where you can really see how the tan kind of is muddy. You can see that muddiness here in her hamstring. I'd like to see some more glute. This is an in-between shot, so don't judge her pose. She's not quite posed, not quite fully posed here. Let me see if I can find one that's fully posed. Oops, hit the wrong button. Where'd it go? Here it is. I think this one's better. Yeah, she's fully posed in this one. Let me pull this one up instead. think it's this one. I think. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So she's fully posed here in this one. You can see how she just needs some more glute. Her glutes and her legs kind of blend together. She needs just some more glute volume in order to pop it up and out. She's got a little bit of imbalance here between the two glutes as well, which she can work on, kind of bringing this glute up a little bit more than this one. But overall, I think they both need to come up. I think that will really help with her back shot. And again, looking at the tan, you can see that splotchiness underneath her hamstrings. You can see it through her lower back here. She just got to work on making sure that she gets that tan right. And then, like I said, I would like to see a brighter suit color on her. But she could definitely be a threat this weekend if she pulls all those little details together, right? Pulls all the details. Let's go to the next one. Next one on the list that I have is Ivana. So Ivana obviously has won 7 pro shows. She just got back over here to the States, and she's been okay, not winning, but okay. I think it was 4th. Was it 3rd or 4th in Tampa? 3rd or 4th in Tampa, and then she was 2nd here at Pacific USA. Again, not bad, but when you come off of winning 5 shows in a row, you want to win more, right? So I like to see her a little bit fuller. That would be helpful here. This look here, Pacific USA, was definitely better than what she did in Tampa. In Tampa, she was just a little bit too straight up and down. Let's see a few changes here to her presentation, that kind of thing. But I do like her hair a whole lot better than makeup, her suit a whole lot better at this show than what she put up at Tampa. So she is absolutely a threat for this title here. But I also wanted to mention her because I mentioned this in my stories today. I got one of those little questions in that said, what does Jody Yunker have to do in order to win a show? And we're going to get to Jody in a minute. She's in this show as well. It just has to be your day. Ivana's another one that I didn't mention this morning, but Ivana's another one that took a whole lot of top 5s before she won a show. And now that she won Legions this past fall. Now that she won a show, she's always either winning or, top 3. Like I said, she won 5 shows back to back. So sometimes it just takes that one show to pop off, and then you're always in that winner's circle. You just got to keep grinding. One day it's going to be your day. And that's what happened with Ivana. And now look at her. I think that Ivana is one of these ones that is underrated. People don't talk about her a whole lot. I think she's a real threat. I think she can be a real threat at the Olympia as well. So curious to see what she's going to look like this week. Let's see. Next one up is Alessia. So this is Alessia's first show back in a while. I do know she went through some health stuff and got that fixed. So I do expect to see a much better Alessia than we've seen in a long time this coming weekend. Let's pull up a front pose here. There we go. And I believe Pittsburgh was the last time she was on stage, which was May. So she's been off for a little while. And for those of you that know Alessia likes to compete a lot. Typically, she's in a show, 3 weekends out of the month kind of deal. She's probably one of the most active competitors. So for her to have taken off from May until now, that's a big deal. So I am interested to see what she looks like when she gets on stage. Alessia is another one we were just talking about that did a ton of shows, was always in the top 5, and could not crack a win until last year, I believe. Last year, I believe, was the first time she won a show. So she's another one. And now that she's won one, now she's a threat to win every show she walks into. So this is a very common thing, you guys. It just takes getting up there once. But it takes a lot of work to get up there that one time for a lot of girls. There's very few girls that will walk out on stage and win their first show. There's very few Darajas out there, right? There's more girls that are like the Alessias of the world that have to grind and grind and grind and grind until they get to that top spot, right? And find that secret sauce and find out what it is that's going to work for them. Let's pull up our next one. Let's see. Next one I have in line is, well, Emily's going up again. Now we work with her on our posing. She did a lot better this past week at Nashville Fit Show, so she's got to fill out a little bit going into this show and keep perfecting that posing there. The next one that I pulled up was Anya. So Anya did compete. This was Texas, just a week or two ago, and she was first call out there. Let me see. I don't remember her placing. I think it was, where is she? 6th. So she just placed outside the top 5 at Texas. She's another one that's perennially in the first call outs. Has not won a show yet, but is always a threat for the first call out and a potential win. So it's just going to be a matter of when she can actually take out a show, right? When she can actually get into that winner's circle. So I don't know what kind of feedback she got at Texas. Looks pretty good to me. Maybe needed to be a little bit leaner. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the feedback was here. Probably would open up this pose a little bit more. She looks a little closed off in this pose. Let me see if there's, no, that is her full front. I was gonna see if that was maybe just in between, but it's not. That's her full front pose. So maybe I'd open up the pose a little bit more. Let me pull up a back pose and see what her back shot is. Okay, there's her back pose. Yeah, I think she probably just needs to be a little bit leaner based on this photo. Now, again, I could be wrong. She probably, like, this photo could just be misleading. She does have a bit of a straight lower back here. So she's got to be tight enough so that everything pops and her proportions pop from the back, or she can look a little straight up and down. I think that's probably it. I could be wrong. Again, I don't know what her feedback was here, but that's what I'm seeing just from looking at the photo. So if she comes in a little bit tighter, she's had 2 weeks to get tighter. She's another one that could be potentially in that top spot. All of these girls, if you notice, they've all got, I've said similar things about every one of them. They're all very, very close, every one of them. Let's see. And the last one that I have pulled up is Jody. So obviously Jody, again, another one that's been knocking on that door. That's all of these girls this week, it seems, right? So if you ever become one of those girls, regardless of if you're on the pro stage or if you're on the NPC stage or if you are on the national stage, this happens a lot where girls are consistently in that first call out. And she's consistently close, right? So we've got a lot of girls in this lineup. They're very, very close to winning a show. And it's just a matter of who's going to do it that day. I'm always one of those people that I root for the girls that are not qualified yet. So this would be a great thing to see Jody win this. And I think she's very capable of winning this. Taking her feedback and coming in and using it this week, doing whatever they told her to do to come in and beat her last package, right? Like I mentioned yesterday, I'd like to see the glam a little different, but overall, I really liked her overall look. And I think her feedback was she was a little too tight, a little bit too lean. So she can easily fill out in a week. We'll see what she does in order to bring a better package this coming weekend, but definitely could be something that she could win. So let me pull this up. Tighter means leaner. That was the question that just came in. Tighter means leaner. Does Jody usually place ahead of Jordan? It just depends. Depends on the show. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. They've both beaten each other in shows. So it just depends on the show. Just depends on the show. I've seen it happen both ways. So they kind of take turns. They're really good friends and everything too. So, that can be a tough thing as well, because from what I've heard, they have a hard time with kind of giving, like, being competitive against each other because they're such good friends. They want to give the win to the other one. So that's tough, man. It's tough because I'm the same way. Like I'm very competitive, but at the same time, like, I feel for my friends and I feel for the people that I care about, and I want to see them successful too. So I can see where that could be, difficult when you got a really good friend that you're standing up next to on stage and everything, and you want to see them do well. And you want to do well as well too. The guys are really cutthroat. The women aren't. That's one thing that if you guys aren't in the pro league, you'll kind of realize that as you go further in this sport. The women really do want to see you be successful in general, because you get to a certain point where you realize that it's not about you; it's about what the judges decide to choose that day. So, however the chips fall, you don't ever really blame somebody else. You know what I mean? It's just you get to the point where it's got to be better. It's got to come back better the next time, and you don't. There's none of that cattiness. Now you're always going to have one or two. You're always going to have one or two that are going to be catty towards each other, that kind of thing. There's always a bad apple in the bunch, as they always say. But by and large, most of the time, the girls on stages, specifically pro stages, are very supportive of each other. And they realize that, if I'm getting better, I'm making you better too, So that is the general consensus across the board for most of the girls that do get on stages. Because at the end of the day, you're going to see these girls every single week when you're getting on stage and you're fighting for the Olympia. You better be nice. They don't have any control over it. All they have control over is bringing their best package. They don't have control over what the judges decide to do that day. You know what I mean? So it's really more about, again, self-improvement and taking your feedback that you get from the judges and applying it. It's not about, I need to beat this girl, I need to beat that girl. It's not about that. That's how the guys think. It's not how the girls think. Girls think differently than guys. Trust me when I tell you. I have a husband that I think very differently than. Oh, sometimes, we're a yin and yang and that works well, but sometimes. So if I'm looking over this list and I'm just going by who has a better record, who's gonna win this show, I would say that the odds-on bet would be Ivana. But with that said, she has not won her last two shows. So she's coming in off of 2 less than wins, even though she won 5 shows. So we'll see. Alessia, same thing. Alessia is another threat. She's won shows. She is qualified already for the Olympia, but her last few showings have not been great. So she didn't win. So it's going to be a matter of, who is going to be better. And it may not be either one of them. It may be one of these girls that has been banging on the door for the last few weeks, trying to get through to that number 1 spot, right? So what do you guys think? Type into the comment bar. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think might be the dark horse in this particular lineup this week? We've got a lot of girls here on this lineup who were second call out last week and just barely missed the mark. So they could end up popping up into a first call out this week. Right? Anybody got some guesses? Our comments are always a little bit behind. So type in your 2 cents. Who do you think is going to take home the win here? Do, 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 do. Or who do you want to take home the win? Let's put it that way, too. Who do you want to take home the win? No guesses, you guys? There we go. Still shocked that Jordan hasn't won. I'm not. Jordan is a brand new pro. She just turned pro this year. Or was it this year? Was it 2021? Anyway, this is basically her rookie season. It took Jasmine 2 seasons to be able to win a show. It takes a lot of girls 2 seasons to win a show. It took Alessia 2 seasons. It took Ivana just over a full season. It's normal. It's normal. Vanya just won a Nashville Fit show. It took her 2 seasons. A lot of these girls, it's taking that long, and that's normal. It's normal to go through all that. You have to, you don't understand when you get to this level how tough it is. It's very tough. Rooting for all, but let's go Jody. Yeah, I'd like to see Jody win. If I was picking an underdog, she's not really an underdog, but she's not qualified for the Olympia. So if I was picking an underdog in this particular show, I would say Jody. She's gotten those second places several times. I'd like to see her push up and over. Kind of the same thing we said about Shelby. Shelby was doing those second places quite a bit. So I think she would be a good one to put in there for that. Let's see if she can win it. But yeah, if I was going with my gut here, I would probably say Ivana. And then I would probably put Alessia and Jody outside of that. And then I would put Jordan next. I think one that could surprise us would be Maria Acosta. I think she could surprise us. Alessia and Jody for top 2. Would love to see an underdog. Jody, yes, I understand that, and it's definitely tricky to figure out the formula to win, but she's super complete to me. She's got some things she still needs to fix. Her legs are a little overpowering. Has just a few little things again, and that's all it takes is little things. Legs are still a little bit more muscular than most of the girls on that stage. She needs some more glute pop. If she can bring the legs down a little bit, that'll help her glutes pop a little bit. The last few shows, she's had a little bit of lower ab distension. So, just a few things, just a few little things. Yes, I agree with Maria. She could sneak in there. She could. I really could see Maria being the shocker of this show. I could see her being the shocker of the show for sure. But like I said, just like any of these other shows, I mean, it could be anybody's game. So don't count anybody out, basically. Don't count anybody out, right? Okay, so that's our prediction night for tonight. I don't know if there's a live stream or not for this show, but I'll be paying attention for updates and things like that. Like I said before, if you haven't done it already, make sure that you register for free for Cuties Conquering the Stage Early Bird Access. That link is in my bio on Instagram. It's also in the description box on our YouTube video. If you are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and then you turn on notifications. You like, you comment, you help out our algorithms so that we get played more. We can do more of these. We get more coverage for the ladies. That's a big deal. There's not a whole lot of people out there that are doing, coverage for women. So we need more of it. We need to keep that going. There is center podium. Okay. All right. So there is a live stream. Okay, cool. All right. What else? Make sure that and the other thing too, is that when you actually register for Cuties Conquering the Stage, you get to see all the details about what's coming up, the speakers that we have picked, all of that kind of thing. So go check that out. We always announce more and more fun stuff as we get closer. So you'll want to be in the know on all of that. Really looking forward to it again this year. What else? What did I miss? Did I miss anything? We'll do another live stream tomorrow night. We'll do an educational one tomorrow night since we've done all of our BSPNs for this week. I'll have a good topic for you guys to talk about. There's lots of things. I just haven't had a chance to get out there and actually put them out there. So we've got some stuff we can talk about tomorrow night. So be sure to be on tomorrow night as well. Hope you guys have had a fantastic week this week. I am home this weekend. We do have a Sundays with Sean this weekend. There you go, Jennifer. I just said it. And there goes the Sundays with Sean reminder right there. Yep. So there is a Sundays with Sean this weekend. It is pretty full, but we do have a couple of spaces left, I believe, because we got North Americans coming up next week. We got a lot of girls doing North Americans, so I'm excited about North Americans. It's going to be fun. I think that's it. So sign up for Cuties Conquering the Stage. Sign up for SWS Sundays with Sean. Be ready for our live stream tomorrow night. We'll do one tomorrow. And let's watch what happens this week. Let's see if anybody new gets Olympia qualified. We always like to see somebody new get that Olympic qualification. Always want to see somebody new snag that. So that's going to be my pick is going to be Jody. Let's see if we get her an Olympic qualification. I think the betting game would be for Ivana, but I would like to see Jody win it. So that's my 2 cents. My 2 cents right there. All right, you guys, I'm going to let y'all go. Have a great night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm going to end out YouTube first.